The great Japanese film director Akira Kurosawa collaborated on 16 films with his favorite leading man, Toshiro Mifune. We'll be seeing one of these collaborations in class, The Throne of Blood, which is the famous adaptation of Shakespeare's Macbeth, set in samurai times. Samurai settings were a favorite of Kurosawa, and the film that I'll be reviewing also focuses on a samurai warrior. Though this film, Sanjuro, is actually a kind of sequel to another more famous film, Yojimbo. Now, Yojimbo is the film that ended up serving as the inspiration for Clint Eastwood's A Fistful of Dollars. It does at times seem to be a kind of Western. It takes place in a desolate town. Not a gunman, but a samurai warrior wanders into this town, and it turns out that the town in Yojimbo is being dominated by two feuding sides. And this mercenary fighter moves from one side to the other and kind of plays them off against each other. Toward the end of the film, we finally get the idea that this character is more good than bad. And in the very end of the film, he ends up taking on the greatest villains of the town. And of course, he wins out. And he moves on out down the road. And I guess moves into Sanjuro. Although it's interesting, in Sanjuro, the circumstances are quite different. Though once again, this character just kind of pops up. And he's disheveled and dirty and a little older than you'd expect a great fighter to be. But this Sanjuro is also wiser. He seems to have this terrific insight into the circumstances that are surrounding the place where he is. And he's in a region where there's been great corruption in the government. And a group of young men are trying to challenge this corruption and are getting themselves into all kinds of trouble. And Sanjuro quickly joins their side, not because there's something in it for him, but because it's the right thing to do. And he continues to help them out of the jams they get into. And he leads them ultimately to success in this particular story. Now, the character is much more clear-cut in terms of his morality, and you might think I would consider that to be a strength. Actually, it was my one disappointment in the film. It seemed to make the story a little more predictable and a little less interesting. On the other hand, this film in some ways is as good or better than Yojimbo. For example, the composition of the frames in this widescreen picture are just fabulous. The setups are perfect, whether it's a close-up or a longer shot. The editing that occurs is also masterful. The story is tight. It comes in at 96 minutes, yet there are slow moments in the film where we can really study the characters, and oftentimes we can judge their relationships to each other simply by the way that Kurosawa has set this up within the frame. So there's much about Sanjuro to commend it to you for your own viewing. I would give Sanjuro 4 stars. Yojimbo I would give 5, and suggest that you see Yojimbo first. If you like it, I think there's an outstanding chance that you'll like Sanjuro too. It's a good story, excellent sword fighting, samurai style, lots of action. However, if Yojimbo isn't your taste, then you probably would not like to see Sanjuro. As a pair, they're just wonderful to somebody like me who really enjoys Kurosawa. But I might say that it's an acquired taste.